inside here, you know, you get an insight and you know something, you know, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, you know. But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
3.
Everfrog Esports trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. Whoa! White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
Beast Mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Safety gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh, 50 getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick onto Linky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the 8? They get the 8.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to some more CGL action here tonight. Tonight, we have the Midseason Grand Finals for the Diamond tier. You can see the names right down there across your screen. Where's my hand at? There it is. And we got Drop the Guns going up against Marsupial Madness. I'm Shadowfang 2, and joining me today is Headrammer right over here to my right. So, special event here tonight. The man, the myth, the legend himself going to be casting the game here. So, it should be a fun time. And, you know, these are some 2 really talented teams in front of us tonight.
They really are. Diamond tier has been very competitive this season. And we've, I guess it's just fate. We would have in the mid-season tournament 2 teams that have honestly dominated so far. They're the first part of the regular season. Both these teams undefeated, haven't played each other so far. And this will be their first loss, no matter who it is. So it's actually a pretty big stakes.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, it's especially a big deal because, like you said, both teams undefeated. I believe Marsupial Madness has 1 map loss, so they're just technically in second place. So they could, you know, overtake Drop the Guns here tonight, getting that extra win. So it is a really important game for those final end of the season standings, especially if these 2 teams are going to continue to be up here.
That's true, and you can see from the bracket here too, both these teams pretty, honestly pretty smooth on their way through the mid-season bracket here. Marsupial Madness just 3-0 EIG Assassins right in round 1. Drop the Guns, dropping a map to Virtus Pronouns. I think I saw it was on, I believe it was on Eichenwald. They dropped a map to, and despite like a little bit of a struggle there on the one map, I mean, they played well for that entire series as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. Like you were saying, both these teams been playing incredibly well against each other, or not against each other, but against the rest of the Diamonds here. And you know, these are definitely looking like our favorites going into at least the future playoffs. But you know, there are some other teams that might have some things to say about that. But for the time being, this is going to be our top tier matchup for this Diamond tier. And you know, map 1 is going to be a set map. So you can see it coming up right here. We're going to be going to Busan for map 1. And I'm expecting to see a lot of D.Va from these 2 teams tonight.
Really? Do you got the secrets that they like to run? I know D.Va is really strong right now, so I absolutely would not be surprised to see D.Va around. But I wonder if D.Va's running around here in Diamond tier.
I think so, because, you know, it was always a common thing back in the day even to play like that Rhine D.Va combination. So a lot of the tank players are just very familiar with playing that D.Va, and you can play it defensively or offensively. Offensively is obviously going to be preferred, but you know, there's a little variety in her playstyle. Marsupial Madness is going to have our first ban here tonight.
I mean, if you're Marsupial Madness, I'm trying to think what you might want to remove. I think what you want to remove depends heavily on the set style you want. I mean, like we've talked about earlier, like, you know, Zarya Ven is really strong right now, and you could try to remove one of those. Like if you're a team that really prefers it, you might try to protect one of the options to make it so it can't be taken away from you. But, or maybe Busan is also a map, depending on the point, you can do pretty like wide swings around turns, both I believe on what's it called, on the Bell Point, as well as on Mecha Base as well.
I do believe that one is called Sanctuary, so that
Okay.
I do believe that's called Sanctuary. Marsupial Man is going to be banning out that Tracer, though. Again, that makes sense. I would expect to see like a lot of those Diva Tracer combinations. I think I saw Drop the Guns play a good bit of Diva Tracer Sojourn, Kiriko Lucio. So that's a good ban there for Marsupial, just being like, hey, we don't want to deal with that Tracer map 1. Get it out of here right now. Let's get ourselves started on the right foot. Drop the Guns, however, though, gonna have they're gonna have a few options here as far as what they might want to ban. And I think this is where you go for whatever tank you don't want to play between Zarya and Diva. Just get rid of the other one.
That is true. I guess I think it also depends how much people care about map 1. Sometimes if these teams haven't really played each other, again, they haven't played each other yet, we don't know how well they know each other. It could be a situation of like, maybe just throw away some bans and see how things play out before we really waste anything good.
Yeah, that is always an option as well. You could go for that. A Kiriko ban, that's a standard, getting rid of the Kiriko. I am surprised to see that, though, because, again, like I said, I saw Drop the Guns play a lot of Kiriko Lucio, so I'm really surprised to see them ban it. It leads me to believe they must have something else up their sleeves. Maybe they're wanting to opt for that more Ana Briggs style backline. Maybe we'll even see a Bap Lucio with like a Ramatra. I saw them play that a good little bit as well. Or maybe they even go for something like that Domina style comp where they're just going for a pure poke.
Yeah, that could very well be the case, because, what's it called? Oh, I think, yeah, that very well could be the case, with the sense that Carry being removed does seem to indicate they want to do something a little bit different here, but
yeah,
we do have the lineups for what both these teams are going to do, and we got on Drop the Guns, we have Random Attempt, Fenkitsu, 2-Try Ray, Upriser, and Springs. I know this team has been strong this entire season, and I think it's honestly pretty much all of these people could be in contention for a Roll Star.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe Fenny is actually a rookie as well, based on, I believe that's what they put on the team sheet there. So first season playing here for Fenny on a really, really strong team there in Drop the Guns. But on the other side, another strong team, Marsupial Madness, you got Bonnie, FaZe, Akiona, Smirks, and Silver Sune running it down here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see some of that Mizuki. I think that might be the first time I've actually seen Mizuki's character sprite on this screen before. so that's kind of fun. I've seen Domina a good bit, but the rest of the heroes haven't managed to make this favorite hero slot yet. So I do kind of like getting to see some of Mizuki right here.
Yeah, Mizuki's an interesting character. I think he's been doing a little bit better with some of the recent buffs, and like I think the devs showed the stats of some of the new heroes recently. He actually has actually an acceptable win rate right now in the game with some of the improvements I got, and the character could also be especially really good into different forms of dive with that whole like I guess that grapple chain type ability that it lets you just like immobilize someone in place. Like it goes through almost everything. It goes through Diva's Matrix. It goes through like something like that. So you can kind of just chain someone with absolute ease.
I mean, I'll be honest, I played a little bit of this hero in ranked myself, and it's incredibly fun to just kind of be very reckless, run in and just try and 1v1 somebody by spamming your chain at them and just killing them. And because you've got essentially Lucio aura all around you based on how much damage you're doing, it ends up being a decent amount of value. You just gotta like hope and pray that everybody does not immediately target you, because you don't really have that burst that can save yourself. So I don't know. I feel like Mizuki could potentially work. Maybe you try. I haven't seen anybody try this, but it might work with something like. When I've run it with a Baptiste, and I feel like it's been kind of effective in that regard. Mizuki kind of takes that Zen or that Iari role, but I just think Zen and Iari do it better than Mizuki would in that situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of times if you put in the Zen and Illaria, you're probably playing with areas you have like really lines of sight. You can play save, you can spam out from distance, and I feel like I'm not sure if Mizuki's really like that kind of character, because you do have fall off and not be able to really reach your distance for triggering stuff. Like you can trigger stuff off of shields, but it's like a limited amount for that the aura charge, I guess, for lack of a better term for it. Right. But I don't know. I guess let's see if we end up seeing the character played. I think the character could be a sneaky pick if someone does pick it.
Is it a literal aura farm? Is that what we call it? Like if
I don't
you're
know what the
just
official
trying
term
to
is. That's what it's called.
I'm aura farming, guys.
Yeah.
Hold on. You just go shoot your weapon down main. I'm aura farming. Hold on.
You know, I like that.
Oh man, but here we go. Map 1 gonna be Mecha Base. And looks like Drop the Guns is going to be going for that Bap Lucio Ram comp that I was kind of expecting. Marsupial Madness going to be opting for the Reinhardt, though. I'm a Reinhardt player myself. I feel like the Ram just straight counters Rein is almost like a trap in a sense. Yes, he can punch through your shield, but when it comes to the ult exchange, I just think Earthshatter just obliterates a Ramatra comp because you have nothing to really stop it from getting your entire team.
Yeah, I mean, when it all comes to that combo, it can absolutely be huge in this thing. I think honestly, a big frame of this is going to be the difference between how the Sim and Mei is played. Sim, when fully charged up, can do so much for your team, just beam right through their roster. But I really like this team in the backline, getting a lot of damage in there. But right down already.
Oh, that's tough. You lose your Rhyme, but there goes Ray as well, falling down on the Ramatra. The trades are coming through. Random Attempt takes down Smirks. That Baptiste being down is going to make it tough for Marsupial Madness to try and win this. But Random Attempt then gets traded out for Drop the Guns. Nobody on point just yet. They're still just kind of fighting it out across this high ground. But the Lucio diff has happened. And we finally have some teams touching the point. And it's looking like it's going to go the way of Marsupial Madness here eventually.
Yeah, that would not have been my original guess based on how those initial picks work. Usually losing a tank kind of just signifies the whole end of this fight. But now this is a situation where the Rhine comp becomes a little more strong. You can hold this choke very aggressively. You still have to be careful with the Mei, who's farming up this Blizzard quite quickly. But look how close they are to Shatter right now.
Yes, and you have to just not be too aggressive with the Shatter, right? Like, just know
everyone.
that it's free and wait for your team to walk through it. And again, just kind of exchanging punches here. Nobody really going down just yet, but there it is. Smirks going down to the stray Icicle. It's always the Meis that really stop these Rhine comps in my experience. Like, it's so tough to deal with a Mei as a Rhine. Springs, though, trading out FaZe. And yeah, here we are. It's going to just be a back out and a regroup for the start of Marsupial Madness. I'm not sure where that Shatter came in at. Did you happen to see it at all, Headrammer?
I saw the Shatter happen, but I didn't see it hit anyone. So that which is really unfortunate too, because honestly, if that Shatter hit, I think they would have won the fight. But now they're in a dangerous situation of a Mei holding this, but they're good. They're able to TP right back, and I think they dodged the Blizzard.
Oh wow, they seem to have done just that. Venny still takes down Smirks though, which is tough. But you're in a pretty good situation right here. You need to try and deny as much of this annihilation as you can. That looks an awful lot like, yep, that happened. That is a boop off the map. Great play there from Silver. But the trades are just continuing to go back and forth. Drop the Gun still has control of this point right now, so you're still happy about this if you're Drop the Guns, probably until this point actually flips over. And it is going to go the way of Marsupial Madness right here. They have a couple. They're going to have their Amplification Matrix online for this next fight, but Drop the Guns could potentially do something like a beat engage and try and turn this fight in their favor.
You can see right now they're setting up for a Sim disengage. Like, that is one thing their team has done really well. Window coming out, they just dodge it, just a little bit of cooldowns out, but looks like they're setting up to do that beat engage you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, at this point you almost need to, just because you haven't been able to really break this choke. Immortality Field does come out though to save Akiona there, but they are just not going to be able to live. They're just taking just a hair too much spam damage before the fight starts, but Ray immediately gets traded out, so not an overall negative there if you're the side. And Fenny just once again landing Icicle after Icicle on this Mei. Really been a big difference maker on this first map. You have to play so defensively against the Mei walls, and then the ability to just land these Icicles so consistently has been huge for Drop the Guns.
It has been, but they have to be their carry once again. This Blizzard is the only thing they have in the bank right now, and look at the huge ultimates that Marsupial Madness has. They have Symbol. They can just TP to point and get an ultimate, but look, the Mei just running in. Could they TP it out? They do get out, I think. Everyone except Lucio.
Oh, that's tough to lose your Lucio in that moment. Override Protocol does come out, though, catches on to one in random attempt. And Ray going to go down here, too. The Shatter is still online. Please solo Shatter this, May. I need it to happen right now. This is the... I'm telling you right now, if I was in this game, that May's catching this hammer as soon as the ice block breaks. I would have been so rude to that May. But first round, going to actually go the way of Marsupial Madness. And, like I said, I think the sim ended up being super impactful. Like, you called it out a few times. The teleports from the side of Marsupial Madness were huge.
They absolutely were. They were doing it to kind of rotate. They were doing a disengage. I think they could do it a little. They're a little sometimes on the disengages with it, but they were really good with the engages to kind of dodge a lot of those May Blizzards. I mean, they usually had one person caught each time, but it was enough that made it through that they usually ended up being able to trade and get point cap the entire time. I think they capped point 2 or 3 times just from the TP to point kind of scenario, and the point control just allowed them to do that.
Yeah, it was great, honestly. And you're seeing Fenny swapping over to this Genji here. So just, I guess, not really seeing the value coming out of that Blizzard because of those Symmetra teleports. And we'll see if maybe they can get a little bit more value on this Genji. I feel like it's going to be very difficult because you have to be so in close to get value with Genji. And that is exactly what this comp wants. This comp wants you in their face. Bonnie immediately taking down random attempt. And it's looking like FaZe does manage to get a kill as well. So that's 2 down. Drop the Gun's going to drop out, and Marsupial Madness is going to take that first point capture.
They will, and I do notice, we've kind of dropped the May now, and I feel like they were getting so much value from that before. It will, obviously, it's a little bit harder point to do it. The chokes aren't nearly as strong, but everything else kind of staying the same right now from Marsupial Madness. That they more want to play point. It's kind of a little dangerous to kind of let them in for free, though, don't you think?
I really do think it is because like the May is what was really giving the Rhine comp any sort of cause to pause, right? Now you have no cause to pause. You can play as free as you want to because that just happened. I can't believe that point just flipped right there. I'm not sure where Marsupial Madness went, but a free flip for drop the guns, they will take that.
They will take that. I feel like they've been trying to be a little fancy for their own good, and this Genji is getting a little Baptiste.
Our goodness, just barely manages to live through that, and in the process, Bonnie has taken down the support line, and Akiona has taken down 2 more players. Looks like Fenny going to have to try and get out on this Genji. And I mean, it's just like I mentioned before, right? If you give a Rhine player unfettered freedom to just run around the map and swing hammer, it's not going to go well for you. You need the May if you're going to be playing the Ramatra comp because you're not doing that same level of damage that the Rhine is. In this specific mirror that's happening right now, I just don't think the Genji's going to work.
He'll definitely scale more as it goes, but we have a lot of alts being popped now. Hynun trying to take down this guy, but Simwal just not even letting that be the case. And Cass just taken down. Immor cut as well. I mean, no, Marsupial Madness is just playing this incredibly well. I think the only thing I would change for them is maybe don't sit on point. You can make them struggle a little bit to try to get this choke. You can make it so much harder for them instead of letting them in for free.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with what you said here, right? Like, the sound barrier is available right now. If you play this super aggressively, you can force out the sound barrier incredibly early, and that would be so advantageous for your team. But I think right now, Akiona is going to just be looking for this shatter at any moment's notice, and looks like the amplification matrix is going to be popped on point, but Bonnie has gone down. The shatter went somewhere, and there's the blade catching on to a few. Springs does go down to the shatter, but I mean, overall, Marsupial Madness ends up losing that fight. I'm not too sure what happened with the shatter there. It must have just caught onto the Baptiste on that off angle.
Yeah, it looks like it hit about 3 people, but the kind of blade and the rest of the team was able to kind of clear out enough people that just wasn't really able to fully capitalize on it. But both teams having beat now, so this could be a little dangerous for Marsupial Madness. Ray also coming up on the ult as well, but seems like they just want to TP onto them right now in the backline, and Cassie under serious pressure, but Ryan falls.
Yeah, that was a little bit of just miscommunication there, I would say, from the side of Marsupial Madness, because you saw Akiona just immediately take the TP. It didn't look like the rest of the team was necessarily prepared to just go knee-deep in the enemy's backline like that. And if
Wait,
you're
the
going to
trade?
do a play like that, it's got to be everybody. Wait a minute. The trades are starting to come through from Marsupial Madness. I mean, this is just kind of crazy right now. Ray is definitely going to go down here. Silver goes down in the process as well. And that's an amp matrix, I think, that just got popped somewhere over there in the corner. Akiona does go down. And it's beginning to look like Override Protocol comes out. FaZe gets 2 with 1 shot right there. Oh my goodness, this Emre has been crazy. Immediately goes down to Springs, though. You're going to have to get Fenny off this point if you're Marsupial Madness. Fenny taking down Smirks on that Baptiste. It is beginning to look like it is going to go the way of Drop the Guns here. And it does. It goes the way of Drop the Guns. So somehow they pull that fight out of just thin air when, by all accounts, Marsupial Madness should have taken that point.
Yeah, that was really scary for them. But now, look, they have the symbol and they have a window coming up. This is going to be even harder to do it. This team loves the TP in and the point and symbol, and that's really hard to overcome. But this Blade has to be the hero.
That's going to have to be. You got to make sure you don't lose Fenny early. Oh my goodness, random. That was a good TP to just go straight onto them, take them down. Ray going to go down here as well. Fenny, like you said, going to be looking for that Blade. They're 93%, just not quite there yet. FaZe has gone down, but Bonnie with the great tracking there on that Symmetra, taking down Fenny. And there you go. Map number 1 going to go the way of Marsupial Madness. And I would say they did it in pretty convincing fashion as well.
I would say so as well. I think, like, there was definitely some areas to clean up where, I felt like I didn't quite love where they were playing all the time, but I mean, it's very clearly understood on a base level how to play this comp, and it didn't feel like Drop the Guns quite knew what to do about it.
No, they just couldn't quite figure it out. That the Symmetra of Bonnie in particular was just proving to be a challenge for them over and over again to deal with. Whether it was almost a thing where you had to think about the teleporter, and normally you don't have to think about the teleporter that hard, but it was giving them so much value because they were just TPing straight out of May freezes. They were hearing something go off and they're just like, all right guys, we're just gonna go over here now and just completely ignore whatever you're doing, and we're gonna go cap the point and get free point progress.
Yeah, and we saw the TPs just catching people off guard, like TP on the cast and just like immediately blowing them up, but like it didn't really feel like Drop the Guns was maybe respecting what the TP can do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely felt that way. And I would say it's probably because you're not, especially like in the Diamond tier, you're probably not super experienced with playing against Symmetra comps like this on anything but like a Lijiang Tower, where it's very standard what you're going to do. Like this is outside of the standard is what I would say. Like, yes, this is what Symmetra can do, but it's really outside of the standard to run into this exactly in the way that is being played right now.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that's going to be... honestly, this is probably going to be a big thing of for the team of the series, I guess, in general. It's like, okay, your Marsupial Madness, our sim stuff worked really well. Drop the Guns didn't really know what to do. It's like, can we keep replicating this on like future maps as well? Or does Drop the Guns have some kind of counter that like, okay, map's over, let's reset, let's talk about it. What can we do to make this Symmetra struggle more?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough too, right? Because especially with that type of composition they're playing, you can get your Reinhardt to locations that Reinhardt typically isn't at. I mean, we saw the London Spitfire do this and win on Watchpoint Gibraltar, just teleporting their Reinhardt around, right? It's a much more powerful play than a lot of people give it credit for. I mean, Twisted Minds, they just won the Overwatch League playing nothing but Symmetra compositions. So it can be a very, very strong composition. And, we're going to have to see how that goes. But Drop the Gun's going to pick out Circuit Royale, which I would say is a really good pick if you're trying to just deter Marsupial Madness from even picking the Symmetra. Like, you don't necessarily even need to use your ban on the Symmetra here because you've picked a map where it's not... Again, it's not very advantageous to try and play the Symmetra.
Yeah, I guess at the same time, yeah, it depends on, I suppose, the style your teams want to play. Like, it's, Sim could make some aspects of the map a lot easier. I mean, the map does have kind of abusive high grounds, I would say, especially second point. So you could be like, I'll TP past this thing or TP to this high ground and kind of like get out of the way for it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that are better, especially if your team's good at spam and poke. This could be a little more dangerous from Sim, especially when I run like an Ash or something.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Drop the Gun's going to have the first ban available here. Are we going to see the Symmetra ban as just an immediate response? Or are they going to go for something a little bit different here? And yeah, we are going to see the immediate response of that Symmetra getting banned out. So no chance of seeing it on this map at the very least. You know, Drop the Guns showing respect to the Symmetra. They saw exactly what we were seeing on map 1.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We don't like that. We don't want that. Get that out of here. This is our map. You will not be playing that.
Yeah, exactly. Smart pick here. And if you're Marsupial, you can take this opportunity to ban out, you know, something that's just something that would just really irritate you to play against. You could ban out a Domina. You could try and ban out a Sigma. You know, try and get rid of one of the poke heroes. You can't get rid of the poke DPS. You could also just get rid of Lucio. That is not the way I thought Marsupial Madness was going to go based on the comp they were playing map 1.
Yeah, this is really a... I guess we're just going to slow it down and poke it out unless we play Juno or something like that. So we will be... I think we really might be in a poke battle this time.
It does seem to be that way. I'm curious if the teams are going to opt for the Sigma or the Domina in that instance. I tend to like the Sigma over the Domina right now. I like the flexibility of Sig's shield. You know, he has that perk where the more damage he does, he essentially he gets his shield back from doing that damage with his primary fire. So I don't know. I'm a Sigma believer. Domina's good, but I just think Sigma wins out in that overall poke battle if you're just, you know, having it straight up between the two. So yeah, I would say I'm expecting to see something along those lines. Maybe the teams even opt for like a Baptiste and a Zenyatta. You know, we could see something like that. I've been seeing a lot of like Freya Ashe being played as well. Maybe some Freya Widowmaker if they're feeling spicy. It just depends on if you have a Widow player or not.
Yeah, that will be kind of interesting to see if they are able to make that work, but it does seem that, what's it called? We will be getting a bit of a role swap actually happening on Marsupial Madness. We're having Bonnie coming into the tank, swapping off of DPS, and Agonia here saying that, you know what, I can do this DPS thing too.
Well, I mean, you see the image in front of you right there, right? Bonnie likes Sigma, so here we are. Here we are, the Sigma Symmetra player. And I will say, like, the couple of times we had Bonnie's POV, they seem to have really good tracking on that Symmetra. And I think that's kind of similar to what you have to do with Sigma. Like, granted, you just kind of throw projectiles at a distance and they blow up, but you do kind of generally have to track where people go as opposed to flicking onto people. So I think that's gonna it makes sense to me why Bonnie would be good at that hero as well as the Symmetra.
Yeah, I'll be really curious to see what DPS ends up being played here as well. This is again, naturally a very poke map on average. We're slowing things down. Looks like Drop the Guns peaking a pretty similar stuff they were before. I guess we'll see if Uprisor does stick to Juno. If we kind of go for that double flex to have the speed option. But yeah, Bonnie showing the Sigma. Oh, maybe teasing a little bit of the Sombra to be a little bit annoying though. Oh, maybe we did talk about the cat earlier. The cat is being teased here. Do you think they wouldn't bait us like that, would they?
I think they're going to come out the door with the cat. The thing that's curious to me is that I don't see multiple heroes that can climb this wall, right? Because I have seen a lot of teams just pick the cat, pick somebody up, drop them over the side of this first wall here. But it's the fact that I don't see a second hero that can get over the wall as well. Okay, we're going to see the Mercy swap. So we're going to see a Mercy Pocket on either... I think Mercy Pocket is good on Ashe or Hanzo. Like, either one of them does very, very well with the Pocket. So you can swap it between either DPS at any point in time, and I think you're getting some really good value. And we saw FaZe do incredibly well on that Emerald map 1, so I like that. Already 25% to Bob, that damage boost doing wonders.
Hanzo's down early here, but we do trade back in response. Rez brings him back, so now the advantage is there. Ray's trying to get a little aggressive, but being forced back now that his Sojourn is dead.
Yeah, not really much you can do here if you drop the guns. You just got to back out. That is tragic, though. I saw that coming a mile away. Juno just not going to quite have the mobility to get away from that. And now, like I said, if you drop the guns, you got to try and get out of here with your lives. Because, you know, you'll at least have one more fight for point one. if you can manage to get out of this with your life. Bonnie already 65 on that Gravitic Flux, though, really laying in this damage on Sigma.
Yeah, Drop the Guns is running this May, but it's a little difficult to really properly isolate people. The Sigma has so many tools to survive, even if they're ult.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sigma's a very difficult character to kill consistently, and especially because you have to play so aggressively without having that Lucio amp. It's going to be difficult to get through that. Great shot coming through from Akiona, and Bonnie just going through, finishing off that back line. And yeah, in the process, it is looking like Marsupial Madness is going to be capping first point. Very little difficulty, honestly. It did cost them Bob as well as the Gravitic Flux, but you'll definitely trade that for first point, and you managed to get the Amp Matrix out of Drop the Guns.
I do agree. I think, I question a little bit maybe the Bob's issue at the end, maybe the answer just like, I'm dying, just let me just throw out just to make sure. Drop the Guns comp does scale a little bit more over time as like, the perks kind of get picked and go more, and now we are in a situation where they're coming up on 4 alts themselves, so they could do a pretty good second line hold. Marsupial Madness's comp kind of does pretty well, but like it really feels like right now Drop the Guns isn't taking advantage of too much of the things their comp does.
Oh my goodness, the Blizzard. The Blizzard is huge. The double kill with the missiles coming through from Upriser. And that is going to be the side of Marsupial Madness just backing out, calling it a day. And I believe that was also... what do we call it? A Kit 9? The Kitsune was seen. The Kitsune was Ajaxed. That's what happened. Because that Kitsune was definitely used, and I never saw it actually come out. So, great Blizzard coming out from Fenny right there, and you managed to save the rest of your ultimates because of how great that was. The Dragon Strike into the side of Drop the Guns, taking down 2. Fenny just continuing to land icicle after icicle on this May, just showing they are a real problem on this character. But Bonnie getting 2 more kills, and that's going to be a fight win coming through from Marsupial Madness.
It is. This May on Drop the Guns continuing to be an absolute menace and nearly turning around a fight that they had very clearly lost. They can hit their shots.
Yes, absolutely. They are fantastic with those long-range icicles. Orbital Ray going to come out, but Bonnie immediately taking down Upriser. And, oh my goodness, random attempt going down too. Ray going to have to try and pop this Annihilation, see if they can do something. Oh my goodness, so many 1 HP targets. I can feel it in my soul as a take player. But... Ray does manage to get 2, but they're going to have to stay back and just wait for the reset here. Both teams are going to be resetting. And don't look now, but Fenny has another Blizzard online, so it's a Blizzard versus a Kitsune once again. But Bonnie taking down Springs, and that is just not how you want this fight to start.
They don't want to. The Blizzard out, but their team is so low right now. Can they even take advantage of it? I think it looks like just almost like a zoning Blizzard right now.
Yeah, the classic zoning Blizzard. Unfortunately, the side of Drop the Gun's going to have to back off. Bonnie just doing too much on this Sigma right now. This damage just getting laid in by Bonnie and FaZe. And I mean, I don't want to leave out Akiona as well on the Hanzo. It's just this poke is just kind of outdoing Drop the Gun's comp right now. Their comp feels really ultimate dependent right now for them to be beating Marsupial Madness.
It does feel like that, and I'm starting to question a little bit the Juno pick on Drop the Guns, because you have this opportunity for speed, but you're not really using it to engage or anything like that. So like, if you're, obviously if you're struggling with all the poke and you're not going to end up doing the engagement with speed, it might be worth changing up a little bit, because otherwise Juno doesn't really give you a ton. Like, the ring is a huge part of Juno's kit.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're just looking for just pure healing, there are a lot of other heroes that can do it better. What a great just flight from Bonnie right there to go up to the high ground, get that slam in, and then immediately getting 2 kills. Ray gonna get caught out as well. Bonnie gonna live. Pick the perk where Sig can just start flying a little bit. That's like my favorite perk, by the way. Like, you just
oh, never mind.
No Blizzard gonna be coming out just yet. But now if you Drop the Guns, are you even going to be able to touch? Well, it is looking like there is going to be a touch because the side of Marsupial Madness just left.
they didn't leave. I was looking there like, where'd they go?
I was like, I had to watch for a second. I was like, yeah, the whole team just backed away from that. Okay, Fenny got this Blizzard online, Orbital Ray online as well. Bob is going to be able to contest that somewhat, but Marsupial Madness not really wanting to contest this just yet. I don't know if they're trying to wait for maybe their Kitsune Rush to come online potentially to try and contest this, or what they might be looking for, but no real engagement coming through from Marsupial Madness just yet. The Blizzard does come out from Fenny, and it's big once again. It only catches on to Bonnie, but the rest of the team is going to fall once Bonnie does go down. And I mean, just look at the speed with which that engage actually happens once the Blizzard and the Kitsune Rush do come out. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where it feels like when Drop the Guns has their ultimates, they're able to compete with Marsupial's comp. But when there are no ultimates on the board, Marsupial Madness's comp seems to be winning out.
Yeah, agreed. And they did a little bit. Oh no, we lost one early.
Oh, that is a tough one to have right there. The Kitsune Rush going to be coming out. The Gravitic Flux going to be coming out as well, trying to catch on to Fenny. It does, but, Fenny has an Ice Block, so they're able to just avoid all that damage. FaZe taken down 2. Both supports are down. And Bonnie getting a kill onto Random Attempt, but Fenny just, living as long as they can on point. Ray attempting to do something with that Annihilation, but just not going to be enough there. And the side of Marsupial Man is going to be capping with 45 seconds on the clock here.
Very respectable time bank. Capping all 3 points on circuit is not easy, especially, honestly, I would kind of say the Drop the Guns comp kind of gets a little more favored against the 3rd point. It's really hard to be exposed to all that poke, in 1st and 2nd, but 3rd gets kind of a little more enclosed, overall. But, there was signs of life there. I was complaining earlier how we weren't using Juno Speed Ring to engage, but that second to last Blizzard fight there, I watched the Juno throw the ring at the Mei. The Mei ran into the backline through Blizzard. I think we just need to see more things like that, but it really feels like that's kind of the only area where these engagements are happening. Again, when Blizzard's in hand, they're essentially winning every single Blizzard fight. There's no contest about that. But when they don't have Blizzard, it feels like things are really something's missing.
Yeah, they just can't seem to. It's almost like they can't close this distance fast enough without just losing somebody to poke. I mean, that's what we saw in the last fight. Literally, Akiona just lands a headshot right onto Random there, and you're down your Sojourn for essentially the entire last fight, and that's followed up by Bonnie just flying as Sigma into your backline, killing both your supports, and then that's it. That's the fight. It's over with at that exact moment. It's almost a case that I feel like the Drop the Gun supports might need to play almost a little bit more split, because Bonnie's spam is just doing so much to get just high damage output on them so early into these fights.
We do have a little adjustment here for this attack now. Spring's going off of the Baptiste and on the Kiriko, which is a little bit more survivable, so this may make a difference.
That they were doing really well on 3rd point with that Kiriko. You mentioned that fight where they Kitsune rushed with the Blizzard and they had the Speed Ring. Here comes the Speed Ring engage right here. Going to be able to force some space at the very least. Our Drop the Guns are going to force the side of Marsupial Madness off of this high ground, but they lose Fenny in the process. And that's just not good, right? We talk about how important this Mei is. Spring's immediately going to follow right after with the death. And Ray going to be trying to get out, but oh my goodness, the Ramatra block just doing the most right there. That's going to be some good ult charge for your supports at the very least. But, I mean, Bonnie's already 85% on this Flux.
Yeah, you can just see, like, the Sigma's damage just hitting their entire team. They're getting so low. It's forcing every resource out of Drop the Guns to even make this rotation. But we saw Suck already out now from Bonnie, so this could be an opportunity to push a little bit, but they're going to have their ult really quickly.
Yes, they absolutely are. Akiona getting that random shot once again, but Fenny trading it out immediately is going to give your team that opportunity. Ray, though, going to get slammed, and 2 kills coming through from that Gravitic Flux from Bonnie. I mean, just Bonnie showing out once again on map 2. They were the show out on map 1 on that Symmetra, and they're continuing to do the same here on the Sigma.
Yeah, I've been incredibly impressed with how they've been playing here, and I mean, we even see it too, because they're also running the Mercy. The pick, the Mei God doesn't really matter in the end. You can't even go quickly and suddenly get back with them being down 1. They can hold the space that the Res just went through.
Yeah, so that is the advantage here of running the Mercy. I'm And Bonnie is just so good with this shield, using their eat properly and just staying alive so long that it's allowing the Kiriko Mercy to work. And there you go, FaZe getting a kill right there. FaZe getting a second one. Bonnie gonna finish him off, and then goes FaZe once again. I mean, this poke it's just too much for Drop the Guns right now. They're not able to close this space before losing somebody in the process.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little concerned that we keep repeating the same rotation over and over and over again. There's other rotations you can take to make this a little bit easier for you. Or there's other ways to even get on top of them. You know, you could, to be fair, actually, I was going to say, well, you could sim TP, but I guess you banned the sim yourself with that team, so maybe you can't do that as much. But it's so hard for them to cross this thing. I mean, they're sitting on 2 support ultimates right now that are big, so I can understand why they don't want to change. But, you know, Marsupial can keep rotating these ultimates and just forcing out every cooldown they have to survive before they even get there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've been seeing time and time again. And random is just getting caught out early every single fight. Springs going down too. They do get the Kitsune rush off, but they die in the process. So, like, you know, are you really going to be able to get much out of this fight? And it looks like the answer is no. Drop the Gun's going to be backing out immediately down there, Kiriko. So, you know, not really much happening there either. And we're already just about up to another Gravitic Flux from Bonnie.
And Drop the Guns is a little bit in an awkward spot now. They're kind of in a half poke comp, half not now, as they try to kind of convert over. So I guess they're kind of a little bit of a worse version. Now this Widow does force them to have to sit back a little bit, and I respect it, but they just ran away from Ray.
Yeah, I mean, you're at least getting some space right now, but Bonnie, once again, it's Bonnie and FaZe, FaZe and Bonnie. Every single fight, that's all we're seeing in the kill feed, is just either this Sigma or this Ashe just landing obscene amounts of damage and getting these final blows.
Yeah, and now going to this final fight here, there's double support all available from Marsupial Madness into maybe a Flux coming up.
Now, at least it's not a defensive support ultimate, right? Well, I guess you could consider Valkyrie somewhat of a defensive support ultimate, depending on how you use it. That's exactly what you need, though. Fenny doing things once again. It's been the Fenny show for Drop the Guns here a lot lately. And I mean, they were killing it on the Mei, and now they're doing the same thing on this Widowmaker. Ray gonna be popping this Gravitic Flux, gonna be looking for the solo kill onto Bonnie. It's the most worth Flux I've ever seen in my life. I would have done it too, so I respect it. And that's gonna be a first point cap coming through for Drop the Guns.
I mean, you needed a literal miracle from your team on Drop the Guns to make that happen, and Fenny's just like, you know what, guys, I'll take care of it. I'll solo win this for you guys. Ray coming out then with a giant Flux to kind of finish it off and just absolutely guarantee the cap. Totally respect it. And now, you know, they've actually started to transition their comp over. Their comp's a little bit better now over time. They have the Wu Ying now instead of the Juno, which helps add in a little bit more of that poke. We'll have to see if they can play Marsupial Madness as a game.
I do kind of like the Wu Yang for the title blast as well. You could just give that to Ray, and Ray can just walk on the entire enemy team. FaZe taking down random, though, is going to make this tough, and you're just going to have to back out. The one disadvantage I'll say that you don't have the res, and Wu Yang just can't quite heal enough if you start taking like a lot of poke damage, and that's kind of what we saw right there.
Yeah, they do now have the opportunity to sit on this high ground and kind of just shoot down on them. Then swapping off of the Widow, going to Tracer, maybe trying to get a little more in his backline to make their backline turn. Minute and a half on the clock. They do have a Kiri rush coming up, but both DPS ults about to be on this line for Marsupial Madness, as well as Sig ultimate here. They can hold this for a while.
Yeah, this has been a deadly combo for Marsupial Madness so far. Their Gravitic Flux and one of those two DPS ultimates to go with it. Bonnie going to go up with that Gravitic Flux early. Going to be catching on to one. And there goes the Dragon Strike catching on to two. And Bonnie just finishing off Upriser to just win that team fight outright. And like you mentioned before, you get that one trade of the Ashe, but it just immediately gets rezzed.
Yeah, and Marsupial Madness loves to do the Sig Dragon Strike combo, and every single time it essentially wipes them. Drop the Guns, getting a little bit more ultimates themselves, so this next Bob is going to have to be a little bit of a kind of a heavyweight ultimate.
It really is, but I mean, they've all been really good from FaZe so far, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it be very good. But right here, Fenny going to be engaging early, pulling some attention, but they're just going to have to back out on this Tracer, I think. Maybe not. Hold on, the Kitsune coming out, but there it is. Akiona taking down Fenny early, and the Bob from FaZe does go down, but looks like the side of Marsupial Madness is going to be able to back out of this fight and not lose anybody to this Kitsune rush. And, I mean, don't look now, but they can re-engage with their own Kitsune rush. Tidal Blast does come out onto Ray, like I mentioned earlier. That could be a potential combo. But there comes the response Kitsune rush from Marsupial Madness. Nobody going down just yet from Drop the Guns. Ray going to be popping this Gravitic Flux. Doesn't catch on to anybody somehow. I really thought that was going to catch on to a few targets right there based on that circle I was seeing. But all right, Blizzard. And, it's continuing to go. Ray does take down Smirks, though. That could be big time. And here comes the Flux out from Bonnie. Once again, does not get any kills that time. Ray going to be looking forward, trying to get a kill here. And just no kills coming through. Akiona taking down Fenny on that Tracer. And here they are starting to go the way of Marsupial Madness finally. And that is going to do it. Marsupial Madness taking map number 2. I would say in pretty dominant fashion as well. I mean, I got to shout out Bonnie on that Sigma, was just an absolute menace.
He really was, and it's also just showing from every aspect right now. Honestly, I don't think there's any player on Marsupial Madness that's playing poorly right now. It feels like the supports are on the same page, the support they want to do. The reses are always coming out to make sure that any picks come back. Both DPS are getting opening picks repeatedly, and they're comboing with the rest of their team. I'm thoroughly impressed with how they're playing this comp right now, and even with the adjustments that Drop the Guns is making, they're ready for it. I mean, we saw right there, the Wooing ult came on, coming Ray on the Sigma to like a push engage to try to take him down. Immediately a rock comes out from Bonnie to hit the Sig to not allow them to kind of run down their team, just essentially making that ultimate useless. And you need more than just these opening picks for it, because their team immediately tries to make space to hit the res off as well. So they're kind of right now. Drop the Guns is being forced to play Marsupial Madness's game, and it's clear why Marsupial Madness plays this is because they're really good at it. And it feels like Drop the Guns really wants to play this more brawly style, but it's just not working right now.
Yeah, Marsupial Madness is just they're playing to like it's like their individual strengths all come together as a team. Like, sometimes you can run into some situations where everybody just has these individual heroes that they happen to be good at. And, it's an instance where they're really good at stuff that goes well together at the same time, and they all seem to have the same idea of what needs to happen in these fights. It's really high-level coordination that I'm seeing from Marsupial Madness. And they're not afraid to use their ultimates either, which can sometimes be a problem, especially in like the Diamond tier where people are just afraid to whiff ultimates. But no, it seems like everybody is just like, nope, I'm just going to pop this thing as soon as I get it. This is the moment right here. We can win this fight if I do this exact ultimate, so let's do it. And they've been doing a really great job so far of just really taking it to Drop the Guns, honestly. And Drop the Guns, you're going to have some crazy comeback to make this a more competitive series.
Yeah, they will. I definitely agree with the decisiveness. Marsupial Madness has been very decisive in what they want to do, and that is definitely one of those things that is sometimes a little harder to find in the lower ranks of, okay, this is what we're going to do, we just do it. No hesitation, no trying to find that like perfect opportunity for things, because the perfect opportunity will almost never show up. It's okay if you solo someone and gets one kill. That's a one kill advantage, or a one man up in a fight is essentially almost a guaranteed fight if you almost win. You have such an extreme advantage by one person being down, so that's completely okay. And they're repeatedly okay. Like, yeah, we're just gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you so much. We're just gonna generate the ultimate again before you even use the other ones.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that several times over, especially on that last map. We were seeing Bonnie like open a fight with Flux and then also finish said fight with Flux.
Yeah,
like, it was literally happening because some of these fights were just going for so long. So I mean, if you're Drop the Guns here, I'm not sure what you can do at this point, because you've tried incredibly hard to force this brawl style, and I don't know, like maybe you just pick a brawl map. Let me take a look at our map pool real quick. Maybe you force King Grow. Saravasa is also a good one. That is also a good shout. And that is actually the map pick. So, all right, same sort of idea. Pick a map that we can potentially force this composition on and make it strong.
it can definitely be a little harder to play Poke-based comps on Flashpoint because, you know, Flashpoint just loves its speed. It loves to move around. It loves to kind of surround you from all sides. And Brawl can work pretty well on maps like that. Though at the same time, I guess, Cervasa is kind of the textbook, you know, we all like this map type map of Flashpoint, but it does make me wonder, because, like, if you're really trying to force Brawl, it makes me wonder if, like, something like, you know, new Queen Street or even maybe an Atlas might be better.
Honestly, it could potentially be. I think Atlas is a really underrated map. Honestly, like we never get to see it on stream because everybody just always picks Saravasa. But the one thing is, right? We saw Marsupial Madness play the Brawl comp too, right? They played the Rhine.
Correct here.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me because at this point you're probably thinking, okay, let's try and get this as close to a mirror as humanly possible. Obviously, we can't get rid of the sim because we just did that on map 2. So, what's the next thing that was probably in our faces a lot? It was Reinhardt. So let's drop Ryan out of this equation. Just get rid of it completely. And if you're Marsupial Madness, I mean, I think one of the biggest things that can just completely obliterate your composition could be like an Ana, just getting a big Ana nade in the middle of your Symmetra teleport. So that could potentially be a good ban. But, you know, outside of that, I'm not really too sure what you're thinking here if you're Marsupial Madness. Do you have any sort of insight into that?
I mean, it could just be simply getting people off their comfort backs. I think a lot of times banning, unless it's like a really specialized DPS, I don't think banning DPS matter is super important because half the time other DPS can do a similar task. So I would lean in the direction of some kind of support to do it. But the question is, like, what to support to ban? I'm not really sure. I guess Baptiste is what we should go towards, but...
Okay.
I guess Drop the Guns was really trying to go towards that Baptiste for a little while there. And...
I think...
it's not... I mean, this makes me wonder. I guess maybe it's a comfort pick?
I think on map 1, we were only seeing Bap Lucio with that Ramatra composition. So it's like a... hey, we can get rid of that. We'll force a Kiriko Lucio mirror type of thing, right? And maybe now both teams go Kiriko Lucio and play Diva, right? Maybe we just completely get away from everything. But we are going to be seeing some substitutions coming in here. I'm really surprised by this. Fenny going to be coming out for local on Drop the Guns. Like I said, Fenny's been very, very good so far. So I'm surprised to see this swap. Local must have some sort of specific thing they like to play on this map. And then the swap that happened last map is being undone now. Akiona going back on that tank and Bonnie going back to that DPS to presumably play that Symmetra again.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see for that standpoint. It makes you wonder, what am I going to see for this?
Yeah, do we just go Rom mirrors? Do we even see Mauga? Do we see Mauga mirrors?
Mauga could be an interesting option, actually.
Because I do think that if you can't play the Rhine, you might just go Mauga and just run super hard at the Ramatra.
It's pretty good in the Ram, too, honestly.
Again. It is. I thought about that myself. And especially with the level of team focus that the side of Marsupial Madness has, I think it can be incredibly effective because they'll all be, combined together and shooting the same target. Initially, we're going to be seeing Akiona opting for this Roadhog pick.
I don't believe it. It's allowed. It must be a bait.
Headrammer, this is the diamond tier. We are going to be seeing Zarya, actually. Okay, Zarya and Bonnie going to be going on the Genji this time, which should be interesting. It looks like maybe Local is coming in to play Symmetra, which is that's actually kind of funny.
That is funny. We do see a Venture actually coming out from Local, so this one, I mean, Venture actually can do a lot of disruption.
I think the Venture's coming out because they were anticipating the Symmetra, and Venture does really, really well into Symmetra. Bonnie already getting first pick. Doesn't matter what hero they're on, they're going to be doing that. Ray trading out for Akiona, and oh my goodness, the trades are just going back and forth here. Bonnie getting another one on this Genji. I mean, this guy's just crazy on everything. Doesn't matter what hero they're playing, they're just crazy.
It really is. It's just a wild backfight, and Kiri just living somehow. Okay, not actually living. I was about to say, let's not face tank the Ramatra. But still, nobody has cap at this point.
No, no. It looks like Marsupial Madness is actually going to be the one that caps it. And also, we're having a pause coming through from the side of
Pause.
Drop the Guns. Eventually. Eventually.
We're getting the pause.
No, I was just going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
We get like one of those SpongeBob cutaways. 2 hours later.
Yeah,
But no.
It does look like there was a DC on the side of Drop the Guns.
Mhm.
Or someone having to restart the game or something of the sort.
Yeah, so that kind of makes sense. It looked like that fight was really going in the favor of Drop the Guns, and then just out of nowhere, Marsupial Bandits just completely flipped it. So
Yeah,
it must have been one of the players that was still alive for Drop the Guns just suddenly DC'd.
Yeah, it was random
It's
attempt.
like really.
What they call it. Yeah, it was a random attempt that left. It could be they had. I know sometimes there's a bug where have to fix the audio or something of the sort. Maybe that's what's wrong. But they right after the pause went through, they DC'd. So hard to know if they're waiting for it, or if they were actually fully DCing.
No, it's tough to say in that regard, but Marsupial Madness still looking good. I'll say Bonnie looking incredible on this Genji. Once again, just being an absolute menace. I think Marsupial Madness is going to get a lot more comfortable once they actually get in position on this point and they're able to engage more readily on the Zarya. I feel like the Zarya can be a tougher comp to figure out when exactly to engage. And when that push and pull needs to necessarily happen, so that could be a tough part here. But again, into Drop the Guns composition, I feel like you're gonna have a hard time getting charge off of anybody other than like Bonnie.
Yeah, and I didn't get word. It was a player had quote 1 trillion ping.
Oh man, let me tell you, right after the 5 new heroes came out, didn't matter what game I went into, I had like legitimately 600 ping, and I usually have like 30. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, is this what EU people play on all the time? This is insane. I would just be shooting, and then like 5 seconds later, the bullet actually would shoot. I was like, this is crazy right now. So
Like
there have been some issues with that. Looks like Random did make it back. Going to be going on to that cast here for the next fight. No ultimates really particularly close yet. 70% on Blade, but that's about it for Marsupial Madness. Just some poke coming in here. Ray already getting a low on this Ramatra. Does get the 1 kill onto FaZe, but I don't know. This is not going to end well for you, Ray. That did not. Just a little too much poke coming through there, and the side of Drop the Guns are going to have to retreat here. And yeah, we're already in last fight territory for this first point, and I mean, you're going into a Blade and a Deadeye.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be rough. This should just be a fight. I don't even know if they go for it, to be honest. Unless this Venture touches, then they're probably not going to. They're just going to give it up.
I mean, honestly, it's probably smart. Like, maybe you could force it, just try and get some of those ultimates out. But if you don't want to like have to respawn, it makes sense to just give it up immediately. Go to the next point and say what it is. That Tectonic Shock going to be coming in very soon here. I imagine a Kitsune Engage is going to be coming through from Drop the Guns. Oh, that slow was fantastic. The Blade coming in from Bonnie gets 2. Do we have a third? We don't, but we do have a team kill coming through for Marsupial Madness, and they just engaged first right there, right? You saw the slow come in, and oh my goodness, that Blade Kitsune Rush combo was just crazy from Marsupial Madness.
It was for a second there. I thought Local was gonna like obliterate the entire backline, just ult and just kill them all, but just Marsupial Madness immediately taking them down, and not much trying to pull them back to get a point, but they rush early and throw grab onto them, and I think it hit just the entire backline.
It does appear to have done that, and that is just an immediate kill. But Ray having plenty of hands available. These hands are open 24 hours a day like Walmart. And it's looking like Drop the Guns gonna be capping this point potentially. Oh, hold on now. Ray kind of in a tough spot here. Might have to. No, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. Local gets the 2 kills there. Does pop the Tectonic Shock. it's for show. You know, it's just to show off how powerful I am.
It's like, yeah, you know what? I don't need this ultimate. I'm local.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's how they were using it in OWCS, right? They just kind of popped it and did not very much with it and would dig away. So that's just how it works. That's how this ultimate works. Deadeye going to be coming through from phase. This speed is kind of crazy. I love the face tanking that's happening right now from Akiona as well. Just standing directly in front of their cast.
You will not pass.
Ray gonna be looking for this annihilation and popping it. Oh, is not going to be catching on to anybody, though. The side of Marsupial Madness was ready for that, and they managed to get away entirely. Local taking down FaZe in the process. But it does appear that this is going to be going the way of Marsupial Madness. You know, eventually, Ramatra Block does deny a lot of damage, so it takes a while to get those final kills out. But it does go the way of Marsupial Madness, and there they are. 65% is going to be last fight for this second point.
Yeah, and the Replicons did get 91% on the board, so if they do manage to win the fight, they will just grab the point. But we see right now Bonnie with another blade, and they're about to have Rush too, so like if they go early, this could be very bad for Replicons.
Oh, yes, this could be a really tough engage. We've seen how good Bonnie is with no real assistance, but random attempt taking down Smirks. Oh, wow, that is crazy. Bonnie going to be popping that blade, takes down one, takes down two, and it's just going to be Ray left on this point. Doesn't look like he has that Nemesis form going to be available here. But, well, hold on. If you don't hurry up and kill Ray, he's going to be able to, block like this.
Oh! They do touch.
And, oh, yeah, the touch does come through. Bonnie is landing the shuriken, but it just does not seem to be quite enough. Random attempt going to be popping onto this overclock, but the sound barrier response comes out immediately from Marsupial Madness, and it does appear to be going the way of Marsupial Madness. Eventually, it took a little while, but eventually they do cap second point.
Yeah, I was scared for a little bit there. I thought Marsupial Madness ended up in a situation where, you know, they waited too long to blade. You know, they let them in, they missed their opportunity to, you know, rush blade or something of the sort, and I thought they were going to lose that fight, but just miraculously they were able to clutch it out, and honestly, for really not that expensive, just really a beat, and they still actually, I think, have the ultimate advantage going to this next one.
Oh, no, they absolutely do. Having the Kitsune Rush and the grab online, if you can, like you were talking about before, if they can pop that early, they'll be able to outpace this sound barrier. Local going to be coming in first, and immediately the two kills coming through for the side of Marsupial Madness. Akiona getting another one, and there you go. That is a team kill coming through for Marsupial Madness, and all it cost you was your grab. You just had your grab, and your Genji just dashed through the entire team, and that was it.
That is a really efficient fight for them. I mean, what we've noticed so far right now is that for every grab, it seems like they pretty much nail both people in the backline together at the same time, and each time, I don't know if we had to beat that or if we just chose to lose the fight, but it feels like we're never beating for grab, and I'm not sure if that's a conscious choice or not.
I think in that last fight they didn't have it yet, because I was mentioning it right before fight. They were 90% right when Ray popped that ultimate. So they probably like passively got it, but just not quite in time. Trades are going to be coming through here. Bonnie with a blade once again. This is like the most I've seen naked blades do in years. I can't believe it. And that is somehow just happened right there. Did you see that head rammer, the Kiri TP into the death? Like somehow. So that would have been, that's my TP. That's how my TPs go.
Yeah, and this is going to be a rough touch right now, because it's 90%. Most of their team isn't there yet, and the Lucio shouldn't really be around to speed them because they need this beat.
Oh my goodness, they do absolutely. FaZe immediately taking down random. Bonnie getting local, and that's going to be the point cap. And Marsupial Madness just absolutely dominating and taking this mid-season finals.
Yeah, absolutely dominating, and it felt like they were getting stronger as it went along. Honestly, like, you know, first map was, you know, actually had some pretty reasonably close points on it, but, you know, Circuit really didn't feel like that close, and this point honestly didn't feel close at all.
No, it did not. I mean, you know, Bonnie was just, you know, I keep shouting out Bonnie, but that was just, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen play that good from an entire team, quite frankly. Like you said, everybody was playing their role to a T.
Yeah, no, it really felt like the biggest thing I'm going to keep reiterating what we were talking about earlier. it's just decisiveness. It felt like so many times Drop the Guns had opportunities, but you know, they were hesitant to commit resources. We were hesitant to commit, like, you know, an ult or a beat or something, and they just sit there and take it. Whereas like not Drop the Guns, Marsupial Madness is like, I got the fight. Yeah, I win this fight. I'm gonna use this ult, or I'm gonna use this beat. Let's try to win it, guys. Kind of like that. And there's not hesitation. It seems like they're all on the same page that like, this is what we're gonna do. Even those stall fights that they end up losing, you can see they're talking to each other to, like, you know, bounce off and on the point to try to like stall it out a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, great performance from Marsupial Madness. Drop the Guns had their moments here and there, but it was taking a lot of hero plays, a lot of ultimates, and not so much like team plays in those neutral fights. It was a lot of just great ultimates that were really, doing a good job for them. But, you know, as we do at the end of games, it is looking like we're gonna have an interview coming up here from the side of Marsupial Madness. So, you know, stick around. You're gonna want to hear what the mid-season champions of this Diamond tier are gonna have to say about that.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here with Happy Ramen. You can see right over here to my right. Oh yeah, my camera's smaller now. Over here to my right, it's Happy Ramen over here to my right. First of all, how you doing tonight? How you feeling after that victory?
Bro, we are feeling amazing. Let me tell you what, we are ecstatic. We are very happy over our dominant win.
Yeah, it was extremely dominant the entire time. So just make sure I understand correctly. You're a coach for this team, right?
Yeah, yep. Coach,
So-
manager,
Right.
all that type of stuff.
So then going into this matchup, what was your preparation like? What was the plan?
I watched a lot of Drop the Guns games before going into this. I don't know. I feel like they played their bands pretty bad, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why they didn't perform so well today. And I don't know, I feel like that's what gave us a really big leg up. We just got really good bands. We banned what we needed to, and they just didn't feel comfortable playing at all.
What were you trying to disrupt when playing against them?
So I know that they really like to play their Ramatra style and their Diva style as well. I know that their Tracer was pretty good, so that's the first thing. We banned Tracer off. We didn't want to deal with Tracer first map. And then they took us to Circuit Royale, where they banned the Symmetra, which we were never intending to play to begin with, and that just sent us in for a shock. We're like, all right, what's going on here? And then after that, it was just like they banned Ryan on Survivos, and we're like, all right, I can smell the fear. They're lost.
Yeah, it really felt like as the series went on, your team kind of got better and better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And in game for your team, who's really like, it really felt like actually one of the biggest things I noticed when watching this is it felt like two things. It felt like one, the team felt like it was always on the same page about what it wanted to do, and two, it felt like a big advantage your team has. It felt like your team was way more decisive in these fights.
Oh yeah.
Like it felt like there was rarely any hesitation of like, oh, should we use it, should we not? It seems like someone's like, this is winnable, I'm going to use this all and we're going to do it. And here's what I need to make it happen, kind of thing. Whereas it felt like a lot of times when watching Drop the Guns play, it felt like they were constantly on the back foot. They might have had like a 4-ult advantage, but they never really got in a place to quite use it.
Yeah. I think hearing the comms from my team, as opposed to like previous matches or previous scrims, the big difference I think here was that everybody was super vocal. The tank, the DPS, the supports, everybody was just really locked in on just winning. We were all on the same page. I when coaching them and when talking to them, I said, all right guys, one of our biggest problems is that sometimes we do stuff and it's only one person that wants to do it. Nobody else agrees. But this time everybody was like, yes, everybody was on the same page. We were one singular mind going into it.
Yeah, it definitely showed throughout the maps. It was a really dominant 3-0 for your side here. And I mean, my final question is just going to be, is there anybody you want to shout out on the broadcast? Just anybody, anywhere, anytime.
I want to shout out all the people who competed in the mid-season tournament. The Assassins, Virtus Pro, Drop the Guns. I think we all put up a pretty good tournament. I'm excited for the rest of the season to continue and for other teams as well to maybe make an appearance.
I guess with this, are you guys now consider yourself to be officially the best team in NA Diamond Tier?
Yeah, I don't think that what they gonna say now. They had us at the lower. People didn't believe on us. What they gonna say now? What are they gonna say now? They have no reason to not put us at least at champion favorites now.
Yeah, I mean, I say so. You guys went through this mid-season tournament bracket seemingly relatively easy. So this setting you going up into stage 2. I guess, what are your plans? You're on top now, so you guys are now the kings of NA Diamonds here. How do you maintain that moving forward?
I think one big thing for us is actually all of the team members except for one person, we all actually live in the same area. So after some matches, we actually go out to eat and stuff. So I think keeping this I don't know, really just this team vibe, going out to eat after matches and doing all this stuff. I feel like if we just continue to keep the vibes up and continue playing like how we did today, I don't see a world where we we don't make it to the final tournament.
Yeah, I fully agree with that mindset. I mean, vibes are everything. Like Overwatch, ignoring like individual performance and teams stuff like that, Overwatch is such a mental game. If people
Oh,
lose
yeah, for
confidence or like they shut down and stop talking to each other, or like they
Exactly.
aren't feeling they're having a fun time, you just watch a team's performance just like go right down.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen with my team too, in scrims. So keeping the vibes up and a big win like this, we're only gonna skyrocket from our perception of ourselves. So we're really happy. We're really excited.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, congratulations on your win today. I'm looking forward to seeing more of your team. I haven't got a chance to watch too much of Diamond Tier so far this season, but now I'm excited. We have our first undefeated team taken down, and now the one true Diamond team available. We'll have to see if it sticks for the rest of the season. But good luck in the rest of your season, and looking forward to seeing more.
All right, see you guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. All right, that was Happy Ramen, coach of Marsupial Madness, going through telling us what it is basically. And Marsupial Madness, like you said, the undefeated team now, technically not in the standings, I don't believe. I think Drop the Gun still will show as being undefeated, but we know what happened. We were here for it. We saw the game. It's in everybody's minds now. So Drop the Gun's going to have to go back to the lab, figure some stuff out, and just figure out how to not get so knocked off balance by this Marsupial Madness team the next time they play each other.
Yeah, definitely. It really felt like pretty quickly after map 1 it leaned into trying to play Marsupial Madness' game. And maybe that's working on the bans a little more. Maybe it's the standpoint of like, we saw Marsupial Madness' coach mention that they expect them to play like some D.Va stuff too. We didn't see D.Va played at all here too. D.Va's in a pretty strong state right now.
Oh, I mentioned it at the beginning of the cast too. Like I saw Drop the Guns play a good bit of D.Va, right? Like that's what I saw them play on dive heavy maps. So I was surprised to not see it at all either. It seemed like they were just dead set on this Ramatra-based composition. But any final thoughts to add, Headrammer?
Not too much. Just that we still have more mid-season tournament action coming for our other tiers. I think we'll probably have some broadcasts tomorrow. Admittedly, our broadcast tomorrow is going to be a little bit light because, well, Hippie and I are also on teams that are playing tomorrow. So anything that isn't streamed live for grand finals, we'll try to rebroadcast them later. Obviously, it's not as ideal, but we are a little limited on production staff this weekend, which is kind of rough. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Overwatch community right now. But we'll try to get as much streams as we possibly can. If not, we'll try our best to rebroadcast stuff too. But we have a lot of games still left to play in this tournament.
Yeah, we do have quite a few left. And I've been Shadowfang. That's Headrammer. Honeybee was doing some observing for us. Headrammer was also producing for us. So Headrammer doing two things at once for this entire stream. So, shout out to the GOAT over there. But, that's going to do it for our cast here tonight. Keep your eyes peeled for some games to be streamed tomorrow and in the upcoming weeks for CGL Season 17. And a good night, everybody.